We're in the pre-show. Welcome to the pre-show, everybody. A little different feel on the social wrap today. We don't have our resident robot marketing extraordinaire, George. He's off today. Getting some stuff adjusted. We've got a new set. Aaron, I'm froze on camera. It looked like I'm froze on screen. Now I'm moving around. There we go. We are good. We got a new set piece. Multiple new set pieces. I'm in need of assistance right now. This is a fine bottle of wine that I need to ship across the country to a friend, and I've realized after purchasing it, which it wasn't cheap, that you're legally not allowed to ship wine, so I've been told. So if there's anybody watching this that can give me any advice, last resort, Aaron, I'm gonna ship it illegally if I have to. But if somebody can weigh in and tell me what I could potentially do to safely ship this legally to, we'll say, Las Vegas, that would be helpful. So we got a good show today. We're going to be talking to you about how do you turn a like into a customer. I get that question all the time. How do you turn a like into a customer? We're going to talk about it today on the Social Wrap Show. Let's do this thing, Aaron. Welcome to the Social Wrap Show. I'm your host, Luke Nesler, CEO of Impact Media. Listen, this show is all about social media. What do you need to know? What's new in social media? What are the latest updates, and how does it relate to your business to help you increase sales? Normally, we have George sitting next to us talking to us about the things that have changed in the world of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these platforms, and then I break it down on what you need to know and how it relates back to actually plugging that in and driving sales. But George is off today, so we're going to talk to you more about tactics and techniques rather than the newest new of social media this week. We're going to be talking to you about how do you turn a like into a customer? How do you get engagement and turn that into an actual dollar? Most people struggle with that. 99% of businesses, that is not a real statistic. If Pat Schaefer's watching, I'm not making that one up. 99% of businesses, again, don't understand how to use social media. So hopefully today we're going to be able to help you understand what we do. So essentially why we get paid the big bucks by clients is because we help them get attention on their brand, and then we take their customer or the people paying attention through a journey. And then we get them to actually buy the product at the end or submit their lead, their contact information, so that the client can actually sell them. How do you do that for yourself? So it's a process that we consider the cold, warm, hot process. And it's understanding that the first time you talk to somebody, they're not ready to buy. So I'm gonna tell a quick story about, we're gonna use Patrick as our subject matter today. So let's say Patrick's our senior video producer. Now, when Patrick is out on a Saturday night, this is normally how it goes for Patrick. And then I'm going to use Aaron, our video producer, our director of the show, as the example of what to do. Okay. All right. So Patrick, bear with me here, Patrick. So Patrick's out. We'll say he's at Bartini. And Patrick, come up here.
Hello.
So this is what most businesses do. In all seriousness, this is what most businesses do. They make the mistake of asking too soon, moving in too soon. Don't mess up the Camus. So everybody, this is Patrick. He's our senior video producer. He's very good at what he does. I give him a hard time a lot, but he's the man. So Patrick, you're out of Bartini. Mm-hmm. You see a great-looking girl. I'm looking at Aaron. You see a great-looking lady at the other end of the bar. And Patrick is intrigued. He's ready to, he's like, man, she's cute. The mistake Patrick makes is he goes up and he says, what are you doing later? She starts to have a conversation with him, and he says, all right, let me cut to the chase. I've got a car outside. I've got an apartment across the road. Are you ready to go right now? What do you think's going to happen to Patrick?
What does Patrick think's going to happen to Patrick?
I
don't think that's going to go well for Patrick.
Well, at least he's honest, because what's going to happen is it's going to be a hard, I'm not interested. Now, all right, Patrick, you can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It's going to be a hard, I'm not interested. Now, here's the thing. That's what most people do with their marketing. You have the attention of everybody because the average adult spends over 1,200 minutes a month on Facebook. All right? Facebook alone. So that's where people are paying attention. So you've got their attention. It's the mistake you're making on the upfront. You're moving in too soon. So the first chance you get at engagement with these people, you're asking them, are they ready to roll? And they're not. They don't know you. They don't like you. They don't trust you yet. The proper way to do this is to build trust. Your customers are going to buy when they're ready to buy, and they're going to buy from who they look at as the authority, who they like, who they know, who they trust. That has to be you. So the trick to this whole game is not thinking that, all right, I'm going to launch, we'll just, for the sake of conversation, we'll just say Facebook, but I'm talking about all of social media. The trick to this whole game is to not be under the false positive, as Matt Monero would say, that I'm going to launch my Facebook ad today and my sales are going to go up tomorrow. It's a process, okay? Just like getting in shape, it's not going to happen overnight. Generating sales, most likely, is not going to happen overnight because you have to build that trust, right? Your customer starts down here when they're not a customer. They just meet you. You have to get them up to here, then they're going to buy. All right? So when we come back, we're going to talk to you about how do you advance that new person, that girl you just saw at the bar. How do you get her to eventually one day go on a date with you, then marry you, or in marketing terms, how do you get somebody to actually see your content and eventually end up as a customer? We'll talk about that when we come back. Your customers, they're not watching TV. Your customers spend on average 2 hours every single day commuting to and from work in their vehicle. And their passengers, they're paying attention to their phones. Even when your customers are at home watching TV, they spend more of their time and attention consuming content on their phones than they do those expensive television ads. Even when your customers are out maybe having coffee and drinks with a friend, they're spending time consuming content on their phones. And now, thanks to the partnership between West Virginia Outdoor and Impact Media, you can reach your customers wherever they are. And most importantly, you can reach your customers where they pay attention most.
Hey guys, I'm Christina.
And I'm Lacey, and we're part of the social media team here at Impact. And today we'll be talking to you about apps that will make your social media experience a lot easier.
So to start with, Adobe Spark. It is an app. It's downloadable on your phone and laptop. And it allows you to be a graphic designer up to the best quality. You can upload your own logo, colors, fonts. It creates your own templates, so you're able to go in and see what they have already made for you and match it up to your own brand. Build up your own brand easily on the go or at home.
And once you have those amazing graphics from Adobe Spark, you can then schedule them out on Facebook. However, with Instagram doesn't have an internal process for scheduling. So we have found an app that does it for you. It's called AppFee. So if you just log in and set up your post how you normally would in Instagram and click on the exclamation point, make sure you do that, because that will take you over to a web browser, and then it'll prompt it to automatically post through your web browser. That is how it kind of gets by Instagram and posts it for you.
So if you guys have any more questions about these apps or how to use them, just shoot us a message on the Impact Media Facebook page, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Welcome back to the Social Wrap Show, where we come to you live every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time from the studio at Impact Media, except for the Fridays that we don't, and one of those are going to be next Friday. We're going to be in Las Vegas. Actually, George will probably come on. George will do the show next Friday. I'm going to be at 10X Growth Con with our guest from yesterday's Attention Equals Dollars podcast. We're going to be out there with Matt Monero, Grant Cardone, Brad Lee, just networking and doing all kinds of exciting stuff. So next week, it'll be a George solo show. He's going to have a lot of good stuff. And again, I'm in need of help. So I have this fine bottle of wine that I need to send to a friend that I bought it. I invested in, and this is Camus. So you can look up that, I need to get this to him. That's not a cheap bottle of wine. I don't want it sitting on my desk. So how am I going to ship this across the country? Because I bought it and I've been told that I can't legally ship it. So I am prepared to ship it illegally. But if you have, some helpful advice on how I could ship that, I'd be very thankful. So the first segment, we're talking about what not to do, right? you make your move too soon. You get the chance of attention. You get that one shot. Maybe you get a couple shots, but you've blown it multiple times because right now what you're doing is you're asking your customer to do business with you before they are comfortable, before they're prepared, before they know, like, or trust you. So, we used Patrick. We said, Patrick's in a club. What does that club look like? What is Aaron? What does that club look like? You take no subtle hint. Aaron, what does that club look like? So Patrick is in the club. Everybody's dancing, and he sees a young lady across the bar. And all right, you can bring him back. And what happens is he goes up and tries to make his move far too soon. Yeah. What happens is he goes up and tries to make his move far too soon, and that's the mistake that most people will make. Here's the thing. This is what you have to understand. It is your responsibility to position yourself as the expert. When you do that for long enough, and then you drive a call to action, meaning, hey, will you buy my stuff? It will convert. So now we're going to use Aaron as an example. All right, so Aaron's at that same bar that night, and he sees another lovely young lady. And we'll leave it, never mind. I won't pick on Aaron too hard. So he sees a lovely young lady, and Aaron goes up. And he says, nice to meet you, my name's Aaron. I'm a star video producer at Impact Media. What do you do? And he starts a conversation with her. And he builds rapport and he builds value. And she starts to like him. She starts to trust him. They go on a date. They hang out for a few weeks. And now they've been dating for several months. And he asks her to marry her. And guess what? She says yes. Now, that might sound quick to some of you. For some of you watching, that might not sound quick at all. It might get married after just, 30, 60, 90 days. You know who you are. But Aaron used the process the right way. He went up and he started a conversation with somebody, provided value, got their attention, and didn't blow it because he didn't ask too soon. Now, some of you might think that's crass. Some of you might think, well, how the hell does this pertain to marketing? Again, let me back up and talk about it in marketing terms. You get an opportunity to put your content in front of somebody. You've got to make sure that that content doesn't look like a newspaper ad or a TV commercial, right? Because those are direct call to actions. They're asking people to buy. That might have worked on TV, might still work, but it doesn't on social media. You have to put content out that makes somebody say, man, she is really knowledgeable about real estate in Morgantown, West Virginia, or he is really knowledgeable about home mortgages in Denver, Colorado, or geez, Luke knows so much about Facebook ads, and guess what? They might still not be ready to buy. But 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, when that business needs a boost and they say, you know what, I got to spend some money on marketing, they're going to remember the person that positioned themselves as the expert. Sometimes it's as easy as actually just putting content out. Most of you absolutely are the expert. You have the knowledge. You have the skill set. You have the means, because all you need is a phone, to put information out there. It's just you're simply not talking, right? So when you do talk, what should you say? Most of you have the issue of coming up with ideas, right? You know, I get that I got to be on Facebook, Luke, but I don't know what to say. So here's what I want you to do. If you're watching right now and you have a pen and paper, I want you to write down something that'll help you with what to come up with. I want you to write down frequently asked questions, or just write down FAQ if you're lazy like me. And just make it quick, easy. FAQ. And then I want you to put number 10 next to it. Because when we're done with this, I want you to write out 10 FAQs, frequently asked questions that you get asked from your customers, or maybe people that aren't your customers. I get asked all the time, should I do a Facebook ad or a boost post? Luke, should I have a business page or a personal page? Luke, should I be on Twitter? Frequently asked questions that you can answer, and it might be something very small that you take for granted because you're an expert in the industry, right? Listen, asking me if a hashtag is a good way to market, that is so basic for what we do, but I don't take it for granted that it's still a question that you have, right? So even if it's the most basic of questions, you need to answer them. I have somebody that we're working with that they're a mortgage lender, and she said, you know, something that people need to know is they need to get pre-approved before they start looking for a house, because if not, they can find their dream home and then they get approved and realize that they got pre-approved for $175 and their home is $250,000 that they found. So I was like, that is the perfect piece of content. It might not be a frequently asked question, but it is what I call a need to know. So right below the FAQ and then the number 10, I want you to put need to know and then number 10. And what I want you to do is list out the 10 things that your potential customers absolutely need to know in order to be successful in whatever it is that they're doing, right? So with me, the thing that you need to know is that the Power Editor is where you should build your Facebook ads over a boost post. You need to know that a cell phone video is not as powerful as a Facebook Live. They get 65% more distribution when you use Facebook Live. So things that you don't know but you need to know. So guess what? Now I have 20 very quick, very easy to find and grab and spit out topics that I can use to build rapport, build trust. So now what I do is I target that to my audience, and I do it repeatedly. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you exactly how I take all the people that watched those videos, right? So let's say we had 10 videos that I put out, and I take everybody that watched at length every single one of those videos and how I turn those folks into a customer, because that's the trick. You got to build rapport, you got to get them to consume your content, and then you've got to ask at the right time. We're going to talk about it when we come back.
What's going on, guys? I'm Patrick.
I'm Aaron. So a big sign of unprofessionalism in production is shakiness in your footage. A great way to avoid this altogether is with stabilization.
So one of the most popular ways people are achieving stabilization today is through 3-axis gimbals, like you can see here. They come in all shapes and sizes that can handle loads up to cinema-grade cameras, even all the way down to iPhones.
So the one we use here at Impact is the Zhiyun Crane. It's great for fluid shots and can really get you the cinematic look that you want. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to shoot us a message on our Impact Media Facebook page.
Welcome back to the Social Wrap Show. I'm your host, Luke Nesler. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We have a lot of fun with these shows. I wish my co-host George was here today, but he will be back next week. We also have a show that goes live on Wednesdays at noon. Actually, no, I'm sorry. They go live at 1 o'clock, don't they, Aaron? We have a show that goes live on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time called Attention Equals Dollars. It's also a podcast on iTunes, and you can check that out by going to iTunes and searching for Attention Equals Dollars. We interview some of the most successful business professionals in the world. Actually, we had an interview yesterday with a gentleman, Matt Monero. He runs a company, does over $100 million a year in Dallas, Texas. We spoke to Brad Lee, which a lot of you know. He runs a multi-million dollar company in Las Vegas and works with some of the biggest brands in the world. And what we do is we talk to them about how they've gotten attention and how they've turned that attention into dollars. It's something that you definitely, I feel that you would enjoy if you are in the stage of life or in business that you're trying to grow. Some of you might be ready to retire, but if you're ready to dominate, if you're ready to grow, that's a great show that teaches you how to do it. This show today, a little bit different. We got a new studio, new setup. We've got some set pieces filling in for George, and we're talking about how do you turn a like into a customer. How do you get somebody to engage with your content, in other words, and then eventually become a customer? You've got to have your process drawn out. Most of the time, you guys will, or you watching will, post content that has no follow-up step. And that piece of content that you're posting is probably a call to action to buy. So we talked about in the first couple of segments how to build that rapport, how to build that trust. Now what I want you to do is understand that there's a very powerful tool inside of Facebook that you absolutely need to know how to use, and it's called the Power Editor. I want you to write that down. The Power Editor. That is where you're going to be able to track and measure who watches all of your videos at length. So what I mean by that is if I got a 60-second video, I want to know the people that watched 60 seconds of my 60-second video. Why is that important? Because they're interested in what I'm saying. And if I put out 5 or 6 or 7 60-second videos, I want to know the people that watched every single one of those videos, 60 seconds of every single one of them. Because those people that watch those 7 videos at length are probably ready for me to tell them how they can buy my product. My friends, this is how we've generated hundreds of thousands of dollars for a client in a matter of 60 days. This is how a client spent $50,000 and generated $700,000 in revenue. This is how a client generated a 46% increase in sales 1 year to the next. These are real stats. You can see them on our website in the case studies section. This is how they've done it. I'm literally telling you our process. It's a multiple video step process. You've got to put the first video out. You got to build their trust. You got to send another video out and target it to the people that watched the first video. You got to send a third video out and target it to the people that watched the first and the second video. Then let's say you get to the 4th video and now it's your call to action. But here's the trick. You have to tell them what their ideal situation is going to look like. What's their life going to look like after they implement your product or your service? You're talking about your product when you need to be talking about the benefit. You're talking about the features. You need to be talking about the benefit. So when I buy that new, let's just say that new Land Rover, okay? I don't care about the features, the heated seats, the steering wheel, the remotes. I don't care about all that stuff. Talk to me about the benefit of having those. I've watched all your other videos. I'm really interested in coming down, test driving this nice vehicle, and you blow it. You've done everything right up until this point, and you blow it because you're talking about the features, not the benefits. So when you get to it's time to close, it's time to ask for the lead, or if you sell a product online, it's time to ask for the sale. Talk to me about the benefit. What is my life going to look like? So let's use this as a more realistic example. So a water jug. How on earth could I create a compelling ad that actually converts into sales? Just a water jug. It's a big container. It holds, was that 2,000, probably what, milliliters, Aaron? What do you think? Probably milliliters? Yeah, we'll say milliliters. What is there to know about this? Here's what my ideal life would look like. If I drink 2 of these a day, and I'm in the process of eating right, working out every day, and I simply add this jug to my life, and I drink 2 of these a day, it's going to help me flush my toxins, it's going to help me lose weight quicker, and it's going to help me feel better. And guess what? I'm going to be able to perform at a higher level. If you're a business person, you're going to be able to not get fatigued throughout the day. If you're an athlete, you're going to stay hydrated. You're going to be able to run faster longer. All these different benefits from simply drinking 2 of these a day. So if they're trying to sell me this water jug and I've watched all their videos and then they get to this one, they need to talk to me about what my life is going to be like after I implement what this product will do into my life. Does that make sense? Please comment below if you do have questions about this. If I'm confusing any of you, if you want me to elaborate more, please comment below. I'm happy to do so. But yeah, I mean, it's a matter of when you really take a step back. There isn't a key to the castle to where there's this one thing that I haven't told you that's why we do what we do for our customers. That's, it's not why MLB hires us because I'm doing something for them that I'm not telling you. It's a process, and you have to follow that process. If you follow that process and you follow it to a T, I promise you it will work. Now here's the thing. You don't need big fancy camera equipment to do this if you're on a budget. You can do it on a phone. But the bottom line, there are a few things that you have to understand. The bottom line is you can't be afraid to be on camera. If you are, you've got to practice and you've got to get over that fear because there's no better way for you to communicate your message, your brand, what you're about than via video. I don't want to read a huge long paragraph of content with a photo as much as I'd rather just see your pretty face and hear your comforting voice, right? If that's what you got going for you, like Aaron does. Or like Jeff does.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of Jeff.
I don't have it prepared.
That's all right, Aaron. We'll do it next time.
Oh, damn.
Listen, it's a process. You have to start by building the trust of your customer. You then have to continue to build rapport. You have to position yourself as an expert. Go back to the 10 FAQs and the 10 need-to-know tips that I told you to write down. And again, that's probably the most important thing you can take away and execute today from this show is write down those 20 items, the 10 FAQs, the 10 need-to-knows. And then what I want you to do is create a simple video for each one. Now try to keep it under 90 seconds in length. I'm going to give you one last tip before we close this show out. When you're shooting the video, bookend it. And what I mean by that is tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them, then close it out with some type of a call to action. Here's what I mean by that. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say we're doing a video. Let's say I'm doing a video on how to use Facebook Live. All right? Here's how it would go. I'm going to time this so that you guys understand how long this should take. All right. Hey, listen, I'm going to show you in this short video how to use Facebook Live to drive traffic to your website. Now, and then what I'll do is I'll talk for 10, 15, 30 seconds about how you actually use Facebook Live. I'll tell them a couple tips, whatever they need to know, and then at the end of the video, I'll tell them Facebook Live is the most important asset that you have in social media marketing today. It's free. And it gets 67% more distribution than recorded videos. If you implement Facebook Live today and you do it steady for the next 60 days, I promise you that you will see an increase in website traffic. Listen, if you have any questions, any comments about this at all, I encourage you to drop a comment below or shoot me an email and then I'd give them my email. So it's about 48 seconds long. The bookend video tip is I told them what I was going to tell them about Facebook Live. Then I actually told them about it. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about this. And then I tell them. And then I have a call to action. Why do you need to do that? Because if I don't know what you're getting at until like 40 seconds in the video, I'm already gone. This isn't like the movie you're going to go see in the theaters this weekend. I'm not going to sit there and wait for you to tell me what you're going to tell me. I want to know. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to lose 25 pounds before it's time to put that bikini on. Right? What are you trying to tell me? And then I would actually show them how to do that. In this video, I'm going to show you how to properly do a push-up if you have back pain. And then I'd show them how to properly do the push-up. Then I'd have a call to action for them to comment and engage with me below. So here's the thing, guys. It is a process. My friend, you have to understand you got to get their attention. You got to build the rapport. You got to build their trust. And then at the right time, you've got to drive that call to action because I don't want you having the same thing happen to Patrick when he goes to the club and tries to find a new friend. I don't want that to be your business. Patrick says he hopes his mom's watching. Mrs. Martin, I apologize. If you are watching, we really do love Patrick here. Listen, this is the process we use. This is exactly what we did to grow our sales. This is what we do for our customers. This is what you need to do for your business today, and you can do it yourself. If you have questions about this, you can drop a comment. You can send me a private message. You can shoot me an email at luke@thinkimpact.com. And you can also do this.